the power in the league in scoring, first in defense, and when you mix that strong defense in with what the Wave certainly can do, putting the ball in the net, it's no secret why they're 20-9.
And I think the other thing is, Dwayne, as you alluded to, defensively, Club has really come on, especially in the second part of the season. Goalkeeping has been solid throughout, but I think the defenders, once they've learned that system that Arnio had imported with him from San Diego, where he used to coach with the San Diego Sockers, the MSL, once the defenders really learned that system, that's when the tenacious defense has really picked up. And I think just about anybody on the Wave team will tell you that it is their defense which keys their offense. That's when they're able to pressure the other team, giving up the ball in opportunistic situations. And Milwaukee certainly has been able to take advantage. You look at their scoring line, George Pastore, of course, the big gun with 92 points. He is actually among the top 10, the only Wave player among the top 10 in scoring. Fifth in the league right now. Detroit's Andy Chapman leading with the incredible total of 137 points. But, you know, after George, then you've got Kelly and Ortiz each tied with 54, Joey Kirk with 47, Keith Falk with 40, Lee Rogers 37, Tim Bartro 34, a few other guys in double figures. Tima and Velasco have both done some scoring from the back line, and really just good balance. Other than Pastore, nobody else who really jumps out at you on the stat sheet. Let's give the Invaders a run for their money down the stretch. And in the National Division, as we've talked about, Milwaukee with that 5.5 game lead over Chicago. Dayton, under new coach John Dolinsky, hanging tough in third place, 6.5 out. And then Illinois, another expansion team, at the bottom, although they have played better as of late. So we are ready to go from the Bradley Center. Chicago taking the kickoff as they will move it right to left as you face the action. And right off the bat, Michael Richardson trying to launch one downfield, and Tony Pierce hauling it in. There's Jimmy Banks controlling for the Wave as he and Arturo Velasco are on the back line. Kelly, Basso, and Pastore running up front. As some token pressure applied by Mirko Castillo for the Chicago Power. Now downfield looking for Pastore. George able to get it to Basso. Back to Pastore as he tries to muscle his way past his former teammate Larry Sunderland. Larry going to get called for a foul right there. Dean Kelly will put in on the restart. Banks blasting one in, and Basso with the attempt from the middle. Barry able to make the save. Carlos didn't get a good piece of that one. Still almost able to get one by. Now Jimmy Banks turning it around the other way. Barry's going to have to come out to play it. And that's Ed Piscarich. Richardson getting some pressure from Banks. Piscarich now moving it up for Castillo. And misfires on that one. Tony, one of the real young stars in this league. Wave gets it back. Young Tran on his first shift. Here's Tranny coming right down the middle. Tranny's going to pull the trigger and he scores!
How about that? Young Tran just teased the defense and goalkeeper Mark Barry. He, like holding that right leg back, it seemed like for about 10 seconds before he let it loose. Watch him here.
Nobody picked him up as he came to the line.
Right. Now, wait a minute. Wait, yeah, now we'll do it. Bang. Well, that's being hung out to dry and then some. Barry kept coming out, and all of a sudden he had come out too far, and young Tron had a
working against Tim Tima. Teddy Kraft. Centering, and the shot deflected in. And it'll be Tommy Isarov getting credit for the goal on the initial drive put in by Ko Thanadavuth, and we're tied at 2.
No, it did not take long, about 30 seconds worth, and Isarov, the midfielder defender of the Chicago Power. And we'll give you another look on how Chicago has tied the game at 2. And he was positioned,
but it was over his head. Pastore with a nice backheel feed for Basso. Carlos trying to come back to it. Georgie looking around for it, couldn't find it, and Chicago clears. Here's Marhetic. Jimmy Banks trying to stay with him. And a save by Pierce. Marhetic getting off a pretty good shot, and Tony Pierce with some great reactions there, turning that one away. Now Tony on the long throw out for Pastore. trying to maneuver in against Sunderland. Larry cuts him off. Richardson to Marhetic. Going back across for Richardson. Basso right there with him. Now Kelly comes over to get it. But Richardson gets it back. Now 2-1 with Castillo. They work the exchange, and Pierce with another save. And Tony is down at the far side of the box. He may have been kicked in the face.
I believe that's exactly what happened, Tom. Boy, that's back-to-back great saves by Tony Pierce. Give you another look at what happened. Tony's going to come out at this point. The dive, and he takes a shot exactly right into the face.
Boy, that's one of the hazards of being a goalkeeper. We'll get it for Milwaukee. Tima had a goal last night. He's got 6 on the year. Not really known for his offensive production, but he's had a good year offensively with 6 goals, 11 assists. Castillo, who is still plagued by a hamstring pull, loses it at midfield. Diego Mondegaden trying to work it with Pastor. One pass too many, though, and now they're 2-1 coming back. Marhetic shooting one in, and Pierce comes out to cover out. Pato Marhetic, a dangerous distributor. He leads the league in assists with 59. In fact, he's just 8 short of the league record set by Drago last year.
Now he's getting a lot of help in that line from Castillo. That's Castillo is second on the team in scoring, 87 points.
Diego's going to launch one from out near midfield. And it's into the stands. It'll be a goal kick for Chicago. Timeout on the field. So we'll take a break. 7:35 left to go in the first quarter. It is Milwaukee 2, Chicago 2. You're watching Wave Soccer on Super 18. Milwaukee and Chicago tied at 2. Let's take a look at that last save by Tony Pierce, which happened just before we took our break. Here's Pato Marhetic trying to set up Castillo in front.
It's a nice pass, wasn't it?
Was right there, but Tony Pierce with great anticipation able to come out and cover it up. So Tony shaking up a little. The smallest major professional athlete in North America. That's if you discount jockeys. Eddie would be the smallest one, I believe, anywhere in North America, at least as far as the major team athletes are concerned. And he's rather proud of that fact.
As he should be. He's having fun, I know that.
And young Tran, after getting tripped up several times, finally they make the call as Castillo was working him over pretty good at midfield. Another whistle, and apparently Kelly going to get called for a foul as he was working for potentially as Pastor was driving past him on the baseline. Velasco attempting the shootout. Arturo 2 for 6 in that category.
Milwaukee ranks 6th in the NPSL.
Barry has stopped 24-34. 5 seconds to come in. Arturo trying to come near side, and he sneaks it in for a goal.
Nicely done.
A 1-point goal for Arturo Velasco in the Wave, and Milwaukee has regained the lead at 3-2.
The 20th shootout goal of the year scored by Milwaukee, and Arturo's third. Here's Velasco. Starts it to the right, looks a little left, now has to go seriously right, and plays it off the instep and nails it past Barry and the Wave. Leading by the work of the defender Arturo Velasco, 3-2.
So the Wave will go on the power play for the first time tonight. 2 minutes for another 1-point opportunity if they can convert. Milwaukee converting at 33% so far this year. They are 21 of 63. And as far as penalty killing is concerned, the Power killing them off at 67% as they have given up 16 goals in 49 times shorthanded. Right now, Pascaric on a shorthand bid. His shot in the middle blocked by Banks. And finally, the Wave able to control it.
Jimmy with back-to-back blocks that time, helping out Tony Pierce.
So you've got Banks along with Joey Kirk, Keith Falk, Carlos Basso, and George Pastor, the power play unit for Milwaukee. Iserome, Sunderland, Pascarich, and Brett Hall, the penalty killers for Chicago. Wave trying to work it to Joey Kirk in the middle if they can, and if he has room, he will then turn and look to the baseline. That pass in is blocked. Here comes Marhetic. Far side, he's 2-1 with Iserome, centering shot, and a shorthand goal for the Power.
Wow, was that well executed by Chicago. Well, it's the second time that Chicago has come right back after a Milwaukee Wave score, and Chicago has the lead at 4-3. Give you a replay, and it was nicely done by the Power. There's the pass, and Tony Pierce, who had gone to his left, trying to recoil and come back to the right, unable to get there, reaching for it. And it's 4-3 with 3:24 to play here in the quarter.
Coming in. Joey blasting that one wide across the way. Hanks gets it back for Falk with 2:15 left in the period. Now Chicago takes away as they're 2-on-2 with Castillo and Iserome, and Tran gets back to break it up. Banks trying to move it out. He got tripped down. They didn't call anything. And Castillo, as he stumbled in, loses control to Pierce. Wave is going to take a timeout, and they'll go over to talk things over with Coach Johan Arnio. Let's take another look at that last sequence. Castillo trying to set it up on the far side. Pierce jumped out to knock it away, but then Banks loses control as he was tripped down. They didn't call anything, and then Castillo tried to make his move against Pierce. He stumbles down.
I think Mirko just going to get his feet caught there in the turf, and then he just kind of, like the turf pulled him down. Initial season running the show here.
Tony Pierce slinging one downfield for Joey Kirk. Joey staying with it as he gets it for Kelly. Now back for Kirk, hammered down by Michael Richardson. Oh, Mike Richardson putting the shoulder to